Hey y'all, it's Alex and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing the second in the series of randomly selected prompts. We had the first one, which I will link in the top corner, and today, let's see what we roll. And I also have to cover up this side of the page for the thumbnails, because markers don't like this paper. So we rolled for 3 prompts, and the 3 prompt words we picked are lava, summon, and cooking supplies. For the thumbnails, I went with, for the first one, maybe a traveling cooking wizard happened to summon some sort of lava monster. For the second thumbnail, I went for kind of like a gladiator with a giant fork, and they're summoning some sort of lava bird to assist them in battle. For the third one, I went for a Vitric, which is a fantasy race I will get into later, and she is summoning some cooking supplies to kind of do the reverse of what I did for the other thumbnails where they were summoning the lava. She's going to be summoning the cooking supplies and standing in this big field of lava. And then for the last one, I did a kitchen wizard or a kitchen witch who is summoning lava inside of their cauldron. And from the votes, it was very decisively C. Like, it was barely even a competition. Before we get into, like, the big chunk of this video, I have 2 things I want to apologize for. One, the audio quality of this video will change because I've finally started doing live audio recordings again. I'm very excited for this. There's still a few other videos that will have post-recorded audio, but I'm really looking forward to actually being able to pull you guys along through my entire thought process, as rambly and weird as that tends to get, and also as long as it makes the videos. I feel like it tends to make my videos longer because I can't boil down my thoughts as easily as I do when I do these post-recordings. The second thing is there will be no line art section of this video. I don't know whether or not I accidentally deleted it or the file got corrupted and it's just missing, but I can't find that video file. So we're gonna have to go right from the pencil portion of this piece to the live video recording of me actually painting the thing. I actually didn't know at that point that the line art was missing. So anyway, part of my idea behind designing this character, I wanted to kind of contrast the sharper shape of her body with kind of the flowing around her. So I did really flowy for the lava of her hair, and I paired that with this really ruffly dress. Because at this point I was drawing a lot of ruffles for whatever reason. Future me came to regret that. Just telling you now. I feel like I had a very different plan for the colors going from the original sit down to the actual coloring of the thing, but I think it still turned out pretty good. Just from future me, from the coloring parts past me, which is the line art parts future me. If that made sense, someone please decipher that for me. Thank you. I will go over what exactly a Vitric is, I believe. If it's not clear enough, I can put a description of the race down below and how I put them in my D&D 5e campaign. I'm having a little trouble coming up with a name for her. I'm thinking of basing her name off of some of the minerals that I keep on my desk, and the 2 specifically I'm looking at are the piece of kyanite and the piece of staurolite I have on my desk. But the staurolite I collected myself, and the kyanite I actually bought somewhere. But vote in the top corner between these 3 names: Illuma, Kyanine, or Stora. Illuma comes from the kyanite because the chemical formula of kyanite, which by the way is also my favorite mineral, is Al2SiO5. I had a lot of trouble getting the flow of the hair to look right. It looked so much better in the thumbnail. I honestly think that this piece in general looked a little bit better in the thumbnail. But moving on to the coloring portion, aka take it away, past future me. It's been 84 years. It's been a long hot second since I drew this initially. When was that? Yes. I filmed this in January 27th to be exact. What day is it today? Okay, anyway. So we are going to finally tackle this monstrosity. Excuse the state of my palette. I'm going to be going in with, I think I decided that I was going to use acrylic ink for this one as opposed to watercolor. I honestly don't remember which is which between these two swatches. I'm gonna bet this is Ecolines 337, and I'm gonna bet this is my Naphthol Crimson. I'm betting that's what that is. So I'm actually very scared for coloring this because I had these grand plans to make this all magma behind her. I have a feeling that's not going to really pan out, but don't know until we try. And I have purchased a different palette, so mayhaps I won't have giant palette leading off this way while I'm filming, and tiny section of art down here. We'll see about that. It says it's supposed to arrive on the 22nd of April. Who knows when this video is going up, and who knows whether or not that's true. Acrylic ink time. I'm also tempted to make this a muted color palette. I'm thinking I'm only going to use these colors, because I recently haven't been liking going in with full value. And I should probably do some swatches. I have a feeling we might not be using the yellow medium azo just because it is so bright, and this yellow-orange azo is honestly a much nicer yellow in the first place. Good lord, I need to find a way to clean these palettes. I'm gonna have to put these on the other side. We'll see about this muted pink. I sought this ink out in particular because in the swatches, it looks like how this pre-mix blood red I make swatches. I feel like that didn't make sense, but we're just gonna roll with it. So just gonna go with it first. That's kind of sad. It's dull. So we're gonna be adding in my custom mix, which is so much better. I have no paper towels. That's going to be a problem. I hit my ink. Paper towels acquired. We will need them. And the average red. Kind of a heavy swatch there, but okay. Yellow-orange azo is a lot nicer than this. Okay, I can see the merit of both. I will keep both of them in, because why not? Now I have to wait for those swatches to dry. Dry, damn it. I think the only other color I'm going to be adding in is probably going to be black. I need to find my carbon black in here. I'm going to be using the carbon black from Liquitex as opposed to the De La Rowney. The lack of opacity in this today is going to actually be a choice. I don't want the blackest black in my mind's eye that I have for the Vitric. We'll see if I change my mind. I might change my mind. I'm very nervous about using these again. It's been a hot second since I've done anything besides markers, and I've been really loving my markers, as you guys saw in this video, and there's more and more and more and So I've been trying to get myself to touch anything that isn't markers, and it's not gone well, honestly. Those markers have been so good to me, and everything else is trying to murder me. Where do I want to start? I'm thinking I want to do the mountains first. I'm trying to think about this in a way of like, where do I want my hand sitting, you know? And I think we're gonna go with my custom red for the mountains. We should have dulled that down, shouldn't we have? Oh well, it's fine. And it's really hard to talk while focusing on getting inside the lines. I don't know why that is. I just don't have enough brain space for both. Ah, no, razor shaving. This brush is long. I don't like the tip of it is long. I don't know if I necessarily like that. I'm glad it's pointy because I actually just destroyed my favorite brush the other day. Rip my, I think it's a Grumbacher. I'll post an image of it. It's not horrible, but it messed up one of my pieces I was working on the other day with that lovely frayed tip. Now I wish I would have left the cloud situation up to future me. Like, I wish past me would have left the cloud situation up to future me, aka present me, because ever since I did the piece a few months ago for my coming back from my accidental hiatus video, I've really liked just looking at the background of that one as opposed to the human in it. She's alright. She's not the greatest. She's not the worst. I really like the effect that the watercolors allowed for in the back of that piece. And I guess it would be really hard to... dang it. It would be really hard to get the same effect out of acrylic inks unless I wanted to do a bunch of layering, which I should be ready for. I hate working on the very side of sketchbooks. I think I'm gonna go with this bright red for all of her dress. Oh, yes, that's right. I was planning on doing... Okay, we'll get to that later. So, bright opaque red, or translucent red for her dress. I might have been planning to make it white, but honestly, that's just not calling to me right now. I might regret that later. So we've decided that the blotches of color underneath on her skin are going to be pinkish. I'm getting a significant amount of warp on this paper. Don't know if there's anything I can do about that now, but... It's almost like I've learned nothing, or forgot everything. That's probably more what happened. I'm so eloquent when I'm rushing. I feel so awkward when filming these live recordings. I don't know how much time I should wait between, like, one statement. Also, just side note, I did this the wrong way, so I don't know how much time I should wait in between sentences to, like, bring something back up, because I don't want to keep you guys on, like, one section of the video for all of the video, then jump around a whole bunch later on in the piece when I have absolutely nothing left to talk about. This brush still has gouache in it. I don't even know how this brush has this gouache in it. There's no way I would have used this. That's besides the point. There's nothing I hate more than going into eyes with a brush. I'm thinking I'm going to use the yellow medium, the yellow-orange azo on these sections. I've mixed a darker color for up here. There's this one little wet spot there that I'll need to be careful of. I'm actually gonna get the smaller brush back. Added a little bit more black to this. I actually might need a little bit more black. It's not that big of a difference. That's a terrible angle. I am very sorry. It's a little hard to see how defined I'm what. I think we're gonna go in with a lightened up version of that muted pink. Actually, no, we can just use the, okay, muted pink with a little bit of water spritzed into it. By a little bit, I mean, there, it's perfect. At least for the first coating on all of this, that'll be fine. We'll have to double back over in some places. I think I'm actually going to use this color for the hair. I didn't think I... excuse me. Didn't think I would, depending on how the rest of the body goes. Oh, actually, we'll use it for the splotches on the body. To see if I can give it a little bit more cloud texture, I think I'm gonna go back over it and kind of dab up some of the color. This is probably not a professional way to do this, but who cares? I want texture, and this is the only way I can think of creating it. I mean, there is salt, but that's not the texture I'm going for. Alright, it was best achieved here when it was first laid down, so... Whoops. I don't remember having a specific plan for where I wanted the splotches, but I want that entire ear visible. So basically all of these splotches are kind of replicating some of the patterns you see in some of the impure varieties of obsidians. This race, called the Vitrix, is actually a race I created for a D&D campaign, and they are people made entirely out of obsidian. So, and there's two types, pheneric and trucive, and all of the trucive Vitrix, which would be including her, have impurities. So as opposed to the obsidian you're probably used to seeing in this brilliant black variety, there are these types of obsidians. There's snowflake, there's iron, there's rainbow, and I honestly much prefer these, especially that rainbow. We're gonna do this before we do the black, just so that way we don't have to worry about that drying beforehand. I think I actually want to do some on the main part of the chest too. So maybe I'm trying to go for a little bit of asymmetry in some places. I think I remember in the beginning of this project I had considered making her a rainbow Vitric, but I really do like this more wine staining look I'm getting. So we're gonna have black for the majority of the body, except for wherever is hidden. Oh, if I can even get this to layer. That's actually too light. Interesting. Maybe I'll just go over all of the stuff underneath with this color. I'm a little worried that this is now too dark, but we are stuck with it, so I am one big ball of art anxiety, but no patience to deal with it. Now the paper is really warping. That's fun. Now I think it's time to actually go in with the black. I'm so scared. Send me all your well wishes. Alright, going in with the super tiny brush, and I'm gonna start on the arm first. Oh, it's so nerve-wracking. I want to kick past me in the face for doing all of these ruffles to myself, because, boy, I'm not having fun. I'm not having fun with this. At least around the ruffles. Everything else has been fun. I worry that during these videos I get too negative. I myself am kind of just a negative person. I think we're going to leave the pearls and the belt white. We'll need to go back in with some white ink or something on those. I will have to go back in and redefine some joints and areas like the chin. But luckily that's not too much of an issue. I still don't know what color I want to do her hair in. Okay, not as disastrous as it could have been. I don't like how round her eyes are, so I'm going to kind of like chop off one side of the... Oh, that was too much. Oh no. Oh, that was way too much. And I'll need to go back in and add I don't know how I'm going to be able to add eyelashes now. Gee darn. I'm tempted to do a gradient of black to like the orangey yellow at the very top. Just so that way I can do the medium orange, whatever it is, the yellow orange azo to here, and then an orange to here, and then a black to here, so I can cover up all of this nonsense. Now time to mix in a little red. Oh, that was way too much red. I gotta wish more of this. Oh, she's got candy corn hair now. Okay, maybe we're just going for that blood red down at the bottom. I think I'm gonna actually take this orangey color all the way up over the rest. I want to use this yellow orange azo, whatever it is, as like the main color of the rest of the lava. Alright, gonna let that dry. In the meantime, I guess it's time to start covering everything else with yellow medium azo. And I'm actually gonna get a bit bigger of a brush for this. That way we can just cover big swaths of area with this. All right. Ooh, there's something in this brush, isn't there? I have to live with this now. I don't know why I've been just doing yellow backgrounds on so many things right now, and they just haven't been working. I maybe should take a hint. I'm probably gonna also change the color of this effect. Hi.
Are you still recording?
Yep. Why?
Is there any way I could join you here?
You'll have to do with me talking to myself.
That's fine, I've got my headphones.
Okay. Jess is in the studio, everyone.
Just leaving the studio.
We've been talking about filming a trio video with
Tori.
my older sister Tori also for, when did that get brought up?
I don't know, I'd love to. It's your channel.
So someday soon. Maybe once Jess is out of school.
Once Jess is out of fucking school. Sorry.
I curse on my channel. This is not a channel specifically for children. Why would I make a channel specifically for children?
What a good question.
I know you would.
I would make it specifically for children, but I wouldn't make it child safe.
Yeah. Whenever we start our joint doll channel, it will be child safe, but not my channel.
That's what we're coming out of the pandemic with. A joint art channel.
Yes, Will Wall Arts. Ugh, now I have to wait for things to dry.
Wow, it's almost like you're using a wet medium.
This is why I like markers. Alcohol markers all the way. It's a me problem. It's for sure a me problem. I'm just gonna be over here enjoying my Easter candy and waiting for this to dry. Well, I don't know how far through the recording process I got for this background, weird texture, whatever I did, before my phone died. So, this is the point at which it is and will be staying. I'm a little sad. I got a really cool texture here, and then I went to go re-wet my brush again, and it kind of fucked up the texture, and I wish I would have done this texture up along the front here and then done a little bit more vague washing of color towards the back, so that way you'd have dimension, but didn't do that. It's meh. I don't exactly like how I did. I also put some gray in these, in like the magic influence around the cards. Don't exactly like it, but the white in her belt is honestly a little distracting. I think I'm gonna go for like the same light yellow that is in her eyes. Alright, I'm gonna bring you in closer to do all of the highlights and such. Once again, my phone decided to die on me because the cord was not adequate. Basically, you didn't really miss much besides more adding of white spots and shines, and also I started going through and adding some definition to the shirt, because I also noticed there's some spots that aren't quite filled in, and we'll hope my phone can make it to the end of this session, because I really would like to just get this done today. I think I'm going to take a little bit of the muted color and go along. There we go. I believe that has finished it off. I'm going to leave the cards as the lightest item. I'm honestly going to go back in with white on the whisk. And maybe we'll add some white lines around the others to show that they also have some magical influence to them. There we go. Alright, I believe this is finished. This is the second in this series of random prompts. The prompts, just so everybody remembers: cooking supplies, summon, and lava. As for the paper, I think this handled the amount of ink I laid down pretty well. You can see that there is a little bit of shine to it, especially where I've done the washes of the yellow-orange azo, but otherwise, I think this one turned out really well. If you'd feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button and check me out on my other social media handles. Thanks, and I'll see y'all in the next one.